Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today, as promised in the previous video, I'm going to talk a little bit about my current training, obviously with me testing, as you saw in the last video, what that means, what we're going to do from there with it, what current goals I'm working towards for the short term and the long term, and also how you can set your own fitness goals. So let's get right into it. So it's currently 08:30 in the morning. Just had a couple of clients this morning. Everyone's smashing it, bringing that high energy to a Monday morning, that positive mental attitude. Now I've got a little bit of a gap ready for my own training session, which today is focused around deadlifts. This is part of the new power building or hybrid power building plan, which I'll talk a little bit about later on in the video. But along with deadlifts means that I brought back the Chuck Taylors, the Converse. Back when I used to deadlift consistently years ago, I'd always be doing my squats and my deadlifts in my Chuck Taylors, just a nice deadlift shoe, pretty much good grip, flat base. So it's nice to be able to crack these back out now that I'm putting deadlifts back into my training block, back into my training cycle, and see what we can get out of them, where we can go. I did my first session of deadlifts last Wednesday, and it didn't feel great, to be honest, but as with anything, when you take time off your technique, it's going to take a while for it to come back. So I'm looking forward to see where we can go with it, and for the next couple of weeks it will just be not necessarily making massive jumps, massive strides in the weight, but just keeping the weight that little bit lighter than max, so that I can focus on my technique. So I've just got changed. I'm ready for this deadlift session. As you can see, got the 5-inch shorts on and the Chuck Taylors ready to smash out some deadlifts. I think we've got some other accessory work in this session as well, such as sumo box squats, but you'll see all that in a minute anyway. I've got my pre-workout shake. It's a non-stim, so I've just had a caramel latte before. Just get my caffeine kick through a coffee. I prefer it. It gives me less jitters. This is the non-stim pre-workout pump by Combat Fuel, as you can see on the shaker. So definitely check them out. It's one of the best pre-workouts I've taken. I'll have that with 10 grams of creatine as well. The main thing about when you're taking non-stim pump workouts or even stim pump pre-workouts, when it's stim or non-stim, what you need to make sure is that you're staying hydrated through the session and drinking plenty of water, because if not, you've got all of that blood traveling around your body and you're just going to end up stiffening up and cramp. So always drink extra water, take an extra bottle to your session. Don't just be walking around the gym with one of these. You should have one of these and a water bottle as well. So I'm going to go into a 10-minute warm-up, just a little mobility flow to get nice and loose, get the hips warm, get the shoulders and back warm, which I use an app called GoWOD for all of me warm-ups now. Basically just type in what exercises are going to be in the session and they'll give you a specific warm-up for it. I've been feeling the benefit of my session since I've been using it, so I'm just going to keep on that, because if it's not broke, obviously don't fix it. So I'll be drinking this while I'm doing my warm-up, and then by then we'll start getting some weight on the bar and smashing out some deadlifts. Excited for this, let's do it. Warm-up done, now let's get into the session. What a great session that was. I didn't film directly after my session, went straight up and got a protein shake, and then I had a client as well, so I had to get that done. But filming this now after my session, and yeah, it was interesting. Deadlifts felt much better than I thought they were going to. You know, just when the form clicks, it's enjoyable. It really was. And then sumo box squats, I haven't done them in years. They were a challenge at first, but as soon as I got my form back, started activating those muscles, I felt strong in them. So it'll be interesting over the coming weeks to go a little bit heavier in them. Right, so I'm gonna grab some lunch. I'm done with clients for the day, got a little bit of work for my online clients to do, and then I'm gonna head back home and get set up, and we'll talk about my current training program and what I'm looking to achieve, what my goals are, and how you can set your own fitness goals as well. Right, let's go and get some food. Okay, so we are back home. It is not Monday anymore of where that last clip took place. It is now Saturday. I have had an extremely busy week. I've had a lot more things to do than I thought I was going to have to do, which you will see in the coming months. All positive things, and then obviously I've had to keep my own training in, keep working for my clients, and keep getting all the stuff for the business done as well. An overview of my current training is I like to train like a hybrid athlete. I enjoy many different facets of training. Lifting, love it. Running, love it. And then I've got like my MMA side where it's my jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, kickboxing. And it's trying to manage all that. How can you fit everything that you enjoy into a training program? And that's one of the hardest things, really, because if you keep it at too high of an intensity, you're going to burn out, which I have found out before. If your intensity is too low, you're never going to be able to adapt. You're never going to be getting fitter. Yeah, you're going to be doing all of these things, but you're not ever really going to get faster running. You're not ever really going to be able to increase your performance in jiu-jitsu, in boxing, whatever it is. I sat down the other week, and when I was creating this new block of training, which will take me up until January, I really had to sit down and have a think of how I was going to get everything in. And the main way that I did it was prioritizing, but also setting a definitive end goal. So that's what you need to do. If you're looking to program your own training, you need to set a definitive end goal. Where are you looking to go? So for example, if it's running, and running's your main sport that you love, what's your end goal? Is it a race? Is it a date that you want to achieve, like a 5k PB by? Whatever it is, you need to set that and have it in stone. Don't just say it, write it down somewhere, put it in your calendar, and then from there you reverse engineer. Okay, this is the end goal that I want to run sub 25k. Work backwards from there, step by step. What do we have to do? Okay, so I'll have to increase my speed because I've been doing a lot of slower running. And that's kind of like how I've worked this out. So if I start from the top, my current training before this, I was lifting twice a week. I was trying to run 3 times a week, but I kept getting injured. Not massive injuries, but it would be like shin splints, tight hips, and then just not being able to run the distances. So then it obviously make me a little bit upset if like me coach should put a 10k in, for example, and I could only run 6 without like my shins feeling like they were going to explode. It really reduced my motivation. So I'm running on what's called an 80-20 schedule now. So it's 80% of my work is done at a zone 2, aiming for around a 145 beats per minute or lower heart rate. That's personal to myself. You can work out your own, but you're kind of looking at somewhere between 60 and 70% of your maximum heart rate. 80% of my work's done with that, and then 20% is speed play. Okay, so that could be all the way up to like a zone 5 of like maximal work, which in these beginning stages there isn't. That'll be later on. The distances that I'm aiming towards, it's just a standard half marathon training plan. Now, even though I'm looking to do a marathon in early next year, obviously I had one that I was supposed to do next weekend that got cancelled. kind of easing back in. I'm not gonna run before I can walk, pardon the pun, but I don't want to do too much where it's going to affect me other areas of training that I'm enjoying at the minute. So on the 20%, again, that's just going to be that high intensity, just getting a longer stride in my legs, working some of that power. 3 to 4 times a week is going to be my training volume of running. I'm not going to hold myself to it of where it's, okay, if I don't do 4 runs this week, it's the end of the world. I'm going to pretty much keep it sane in terms of if I get 2 runs in some week, but the quality of those runs are high, then I'm happy. If some weeks, you know, I do manage to get 4 runs in, then I'm happy as well. As long as I'm back running, because it is really something that even just for stress relief, that's something that helps me. Moving on from running is my current lifting, so weightlifting, and it's power building mainly what I'm doing. It's something that I enjoyed back years ago when I was powerlifting, when I was bodybuilding. Power building, it's the best of both worlds, really. On my current schedule, I'm doing that 3 times a week, but if I want to, I can add a 4th hypertrophy session in, which would just be like a feel-good pump, get the blood flowing around the muscles. It's based around, it's heavily squat focused. It also includes deadlifts, as you're seeing earlier in this video, and some bench presses as well. All of this is based around the 1RM test that we saw in the last video. In terms of my back squat and my bench press, we can program directly off of them. And then for my deadlifts, basically the percentages that we put in every week, because we haven't tested a max on it for a while, I feel like as my technique gets better on my deadlift again, my weight's gonna go up. My max from a few years ago was 200 kilograms, but at the same time I've dropped it and I'm just programming off of 180 for now. If I feel good during a session, then I'll put the weight up. It's a no-brainer really. Straight from there, we start with like pretty much quite low reps for the strength part on your 3 main compound lifts. From there, you might have a back offset where you're lowering the weight and you're upping the reps some weeks. It is quite an advanced plan. There's a lot to it and a lot to understand. So I wouldn't recommend it for everyone, especially if you're trying to do it in a hybrid setting of where you're mixing it alongside running, swimming, cycling, if it's anything like that. Again, loads of bodyweight exercises in there, such as pull-ups, and then loads of just to feel good bodybuilding exercises in like chest flies, dips, weighted pull-ups, all the things that I personally enjoy. And like I always say to my clients, if you're doing something you enjoy, you're more likely to stick to it. And I think that's what I need at the minute, is just something that I enjoy, so that I can tick over and I can stick with it, and then the benefits, you know, you're gonna see for yourselves. Then we move into accessory work, which I call accessory, and I've got this, which is my sport training, so my pretty much sports that I compete in, well, MMA in general. I haven't got any fights coming up specifically at the moment, but that doesn't mean that we're not training towards a set goal. Jiu-jitsu, I've set my goal quite low of this, of getting into 2 jiu-jitsu classes a week. Literally just at the minute, I'm really busy with work. So it's a realistic number that's achievable at the minimum. If I set 1, there'd be no point just setting it for 1, because that's not an adaptation. If you go once a week, you're not gonna have enough time on the mat to adapt. So this week I've been to 3. Obviously, 1 more. I just manage my volume in other training sessions there, where it might be, okay, I'll do a run that's a little bit easier, or a weight session. I might take like a few of like the back exercises out, or something along those lines. I pretty much manage it as I go and on feel and recovery. If I can get 3 training sessions in of jiu-jitsu and get a good night's sleep, and the next day I feel ready to go, then I'm gonna go, basically. Alongside that, I've got my boxing. Just boxing specific training. Again, I'd like to be able to get some amateur fights in as well, leading up to making an MMA return possibly next year. Let's see how I feel with that one. But again, along the lines with that, it is just technical training, and as much as it's an hour of, you know, good solid volume, high intense work,
My heart rate's never going massively high. If it does, we're making sure to have enough rest time in between. So it's pretty much interval training with the boxing, with the technique, just keeping my mind switched on. So as soon as next year, if I go into a fight camp, I am ready to go. I'm straight away, okay, this is what I need to do. My body will react, my body will adapt, and then I can just go straight in. I've got the base strength, I've got the foundational cardio. Everything from there is just technique. This leads us on to the final section. So we've covered me running, which, as you know, like I do triathlons as well, but I'm not currently swimming just due to the COVID rules of my local swimming pool. I find it a little bit difficult to be able to get booked in to swim at the moment, so I'm just leaving that. And then cycling, I'm currently without a bike trainer, so I can't use Zwift, and trying to get out onto the roads in Liverpool is quite difficult at the moment. So running is going to be my main form of cardio. We've covered my lifting, 3 times a week power building, and then my technical training, which is currently just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and boxing. From there, weight management. Now this is the biggest one that I struggle with. Naturally, I am a big boy. I usually walk around at, when I'm quite fit, 95 kilograms. You know, I fought as low as 77 kilograms, recently moved up to 84 kilograms, and now since the lockdown, since I haven't been fighting, I've been pretty much between 95 and 100 kilograms, even sometimes going up to 105. So to manage that training load, you have to put away quite a lot of calories. What I was doing for a while is I was trying to lose weight, because like I always say, if you're carrying less weight, it's going to be easier to run. You're going to have more lean muscle mass, which means that you're more efficient, your body is healthier in the long run. It's all of these added benefits. I didn't give myself an end goal, so I would lower my calories a little bit too much, drastic weight loss. And then the second that I'd lose the weight, I'd have cravings on the weekend, because obviously I'm probably in a deficit of like 4,000 calories, and I would go crazy eating sugary sweets. And then mentally, let's say on the Sunday after I've had a binge on the Saturday night, I'd feel like crap. I just would have no motivation to train, and then I'd try and train. I'd try and train around it. Basically, I'd try and say, okay, you know, I've put all these calories away. It's like 4,000 extra calories yesterday, so today I'm going to go on a 10-mile run and burn 2,000 calories or something silly like that, where I was trying to out-train a bad diet. It doesn't work. I've got a nutritionist now, Mr. Sport, Yanis, who's helping me along the way with support and accountability, and just making sure that I don't overcomplicate things. He's completely simplified it. I highly recommend him if anyone's looking to get a nutritionist to aid their performance goals. Then Yanis is the man. If you just search at Mr. Sport on Instagram, you'll be able to find him. So my current weight now is around 98.5 kilograms. It fluctuates slightly. I have lost about 3 kilograms in the past 2 weeks, and I'm aiming to get somewhere in the region of 91 to 93 kilograms. That's the happy medium of where in the past, when I have had tests done, that is my ideal performance weight for the sports that I compete in. So I believe amateur boxing's got a weight category at 91 kilogram. Jiu-Jitsu has a weight category at 91 kilogram. My running and everything, all of the best performance weights for that for me are around 91 kilogram, maybe a little bit less. But I'd rather carry a little bit more weight to keep me fat for me hormones and things like that. And then swimming, obviously having a little bit of fat as well. You don't want to be too lean because you can float a bit more. So these are all things that now, coming up to the last couple of months of the year, I need to sit down and I need to put together and say, okay, this is my end goal. And I've actually written out a weight calendar now, which says this day, and I take my weight 3 times a week, and then I check my average weight loss at the end of each week, just to avoid any fluctuations in diet. If I've had a higher carb day, not looking to retain that water and taking that into consideration with the weight. And then on average, over the next 6 weeks, I should be able to get down into that performance zone, or it'll be 5 weeks now, because this is week 1. when I get there, again, it'll be interesting to see of how my performance changes, whether it just means that I can run further for longer, whether my resting heart rate's lower, and what other health benefits I feel. But I'm going to try and keep on these videos pretty much every week now in terms of my own training, what I'm doing, trying to offer advice to yourselves as well of how you can not make the same mistakes I've made in the past, whether that's in, you know, running training, where in the past I've ran a marathon without any training, lifting of things I wish I would have done differently back when I was 18, 19 to build muscle mass, in MMA training, how I would better have structured things leading up to fights in terms of the psychology, and you know, there's a lot there that I can touch on. But for the minute, running, lifting, and then my technical training, boxing and jiu-jitsu with me 3 main priorities, and that's what I'm going to be covering on this channel. Again, running could be in the mountains, could be down the street to the local corner shop. I just don't know. I'm going to follow this program, and I'm going to follow it pretty much as straightforward as I can, and then leading up towards Christmas, I feel like that's where, as my weights come down, I'm going to start being able to see these benefits, ready to go into 2022, whether it's boxing, MMA fighting, jiu-jitsu tournaments, running, triathlon. There's a lot of triathlon opportunities for me in the army as well, and just generally feeling good, feeling healthy, positive mindset, ready for the next year. And that's something that you guys can do as well. We have got just over 2 months left now, 2.5 months I believe it is, of 2021. You don't want to wait until your New Year's resolution happens to start achieving your goals. You can do like I'm doing now and put the foundations in place. You can put those things in place so that as 2022 comes, you are ready, whether that's just something as simply as starting out running once a week, or maybe it's walking, even walking. If you're too heavy to run and you find running uncomfortable, just walk the distances. Change your diet up slightly. Try to cut out more junk food. Try to do more things that make you feel good, whether that's going for a walk in the park, whether that's going for a swim, whether that's going for a family bike ride. Find what you enjoy and put these things in place now. Do not wait for 2022. Get started now, and I promise you that come January 1st, you will feel a lot more ready for these New Year's resolutions. And I don't even think they will be New Year's resolutions then. You will have adapted your lifestyle and you'll be ready to go and achieve your goals in 2022. With that being said, we come to the end of the video. Please, there was a lot of content to cover there. So please, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below, or message me on Instagram at coach_Crawley. If you are looking for a little bit more information, you can go over to my website, www.coachcrawley.co.uk, of where I do offer online coaching. And if you are local to Liverpool, I also offer personal training. So get in touch and I will have a free consultation with you over Zoom. And we can talk a little bit about your goals and give you a plan of action going forward as well. If you do like this video, please make sure that you hit that thumbs up and leave a nice positive comment in the comment box. It really does help the channel grow, and just let's try and build a community out of this. If we are struggling to achieve our goals, drop it down below. Let's have a chat and let's see what we can do for you. If I can't answer it and you see someone's comment down below, try and answer it yourself, okay? Let's all help each other. We're all here together, so let's all try and help each other as best we can. Positive mindset all the way. And yeah, I think that sums everything up. If you are subscribed, please subscribe so that you can see these new videos that are coming out every week. And guys, thank you so much. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you for watching. I think that's the longest outro I've ever done, so I will leave it there. Peace.